How much? How much should you charge for your online product or service? Last month I was working with a client of mine. He's a big name writer, you probably know him, and he was planning to launch a cohort. He opened up 7 slots for this cohort and he wanted to charge $2,000 for everyone who joined. So he was projected to make $14,000 from this, and I changed that by complete accident. I recorded him a 15-minute long Loom video in which one of the things that I mentioned was, hey, by the way, we can bump the price by 50% here. And because of those 3 seconds of the Loom video and because his audience trusted him a lot, he took my advice, increased his prices by 50%, and a week later he had an extra 7 grand. Pretty cool. But what I've been observing lately from a lot of people has been they look at a story like this, they hear a story like this from a friend, and they decide, hey, I need to increase my prices as well. So they do increase their prices and they get no sales. That's a problem. Your business needs to make sales for it to be called a business, and for you to make money, for you to be free, for you to get anything out of your business. So the answer to this question isn't charge low or charge very high or charge $147. The answer depends on your business. And this video is aimed to do one simple thing, to give you the necessary tools so you can understand the problem and actually solve it for your business correctly. Hi, my name is Jordan Parker. I help creators scale their businesses. And if you're doing the right thing, which is selling something of yours online, you have faced this problem. How much should I charge? It's a very complicated problem, especially early on. The key to solving this is actually not in the price itself, it is in something else. It is in the demand. How much people want your services? Because the price of anything you sell is just a reflection of the demand. If a lot of people want to buy something from you, you should charge more money for it to filter out as many people as humanly possible while staying profitable, so you can deliver good work to everyone else. Because if you sell cheaply to everyone, you will be left in a position in which you have to compromise your quality, because you simply will not have the time, energy, or resources to serve everyone, because you simply lack the time, energy, or resources to serve everyone to the best of your abilities. And when the client flow doesn't stop, you need to do something about it. And if you don't increase your prices, you're left with the only thing that's left, reducing the quality. So let's cover this problem in a way in which you will never have to reduce the quality, and you can always work with the best people and provide them the best service. So how do we solve this? We solve this by understanding how demand works. And the thing is, when you're early in your business, you really don't have enough demand. There's just all of this time that you have and no one wants to buy it. For this, the first solution is going to be perfect. You start by offering your services for free. Or if you're not that early in the journey, you start by offering your service at a very steep discount. The goal of this is to offer your service at such a price that the other person would have to be absolutely crazy to say no to. Let's say you want to design my website. I give you $50 and you come in, you create the Figma design, you go into my WordPress, you design it in my WordPress as well, and then finally you polish the whole thing, connect it to my email marketing, can do everything for me. For me to say no to this, I would have to be a little bit crazy, because this is the perfect solution for a service for me. And if you come to me and offer me exactly that, I'll be very inclined to pay you a little bit of money to actually test your skills, even if I don't know you too well. This makes demand easier because there is more demand for amazing services at a very, very low price. Now, that still doesn't make your life easy, because you, one, have to find people who want to listen to you and actually have the problem. Two, you have to nail the problem perfectly, otherwise, you're not making that good of an offer. And finally, you have to still deliver great work, which is gonna take a while. So this is something reserved for the very early stages of the business. Later down the line, when you already have something up and running, you don't necessarily want to go as nuts, but you can still offer a steep discount. You can offer your service for 50% off or 70% off and still get a lot more sales compared to what you will get if you're charging full price. Now, this can work really well, but there are some businesses in which this is not really viable, and especially if you already have a bunch of pre-existing clients, getting a new person on board and charging them 10 times less is going to absolutely suck for everyone else. For this, we get solution number 2. Solution number 2 is ask for referrals. So you go to your clients and you ask for referrals. This is something that will generally work because people tend to communicate with people who are similar to them in some regards, and assuming that they're referring another business to you, maybe their businesses are similar enough in terms of revenue so you can charge the same amount of money. Now, the big important thing here is referrals are some of the sweetest traffic you'll get. They'll be super warm, they will be ready to buy, they will want to work with you 100 times more compared to any other stranger online. You want to utilize this traffic correctly. So what you do is, instead of just assuming that everyone has the same amount of money, which is a decent decent assumption to start with, but if this doesn't sell, it means the demand isn't high enough. So you go to those people, and what you do is you simply start offering lower and lower prices and actually negotiating with them. Yes, I understand negotiation can be a little bit of a hassle, especially if you haven't done it before, but simply ask the other person, hey, how much do you expect to pay for this? Some people will overshoot and give you their maximum, other people will undershoot and give you their minimum, but in any case, people will give you some sort of a ballpark range you can play with. Don't be focused on making every single cent from them. Focus on giving them a good service, because when you do provide a good service, the person who referred them and them benefit at the same time. They both win from your awesome work, and they're very incentivized to give you even more referrals and tell all of their friends. This is more valuable than you getting a few hundred extra bucks from the sale. And as long as you have 5 to 10 active clients, or maybe 20 to 30 inactive clients or past clients, you can probably get away with running the referral strategy if you did a good job for them. Now, there are some cases in which giving your service for free, or reducing your price massively, or even asking for referrals will not work well. In those cases, we have the third strategy. But before we get into that, I want to take a second to invite you to Creator Income. If you want to scale a fun, profitable business that gives you a lot of leverage and makes you completely free in 2025, you should join Creator Income. This is where I'll send all of my best learnings, and because the rates of the higher tiers of the service are so expensive, the entry level is always going to be free. You can join from the link below. The third strategy, sometimes you can't do any of the other options. Sometimes you don't have the tools to generate the demand yourself. Sometimes you can't even find a couple of people to give you referrals. Sometimes you don't have any past customers. Sometimes you can't find anyone to get your service for free. Sometimes you simply not have enough buyers for what you're offering. In those situations, very often, not always, but very often, the best solution is to change your offer completely. But this is very dangerous and can set you back several years. We don't want that. The third strategy solves that very, very well. What you're going to do is, instead of being the person who offers your service and the person who delivers your service, you would find somebody else to do one of those two tasks. So you would find somebody else who is expert at marketing or advertising to find people to purchase your service, or you would find somebody who has an amazing service but lacks the skills in marketing or advertising that you can fill in the blanks for. Once you have that person, you partner with them and you split the profit. You do the marketing or you do the delivery and they do the rest. Doing things this way ensures that even if you don't have the audience, you can find somebody who already has an audience but doesn't have the capacity to run a service, or alternatively, you might have the audience but lack the specific skills to sell them. You can find an expert that sells them for you and delivers them for you, which would give you a lot more time to work on your business and develop the rest of the skill set in the coming years, and then eventually you can move to a completely solo model if that's what you want. Although I have met a lot of people who actually loved working with a partner and they ended up sticking with that long term, and that's completely fine because business is a team sport and you don't really need to do everything on your own. But whatever you choose, the third strategy can enable you to do that just a little bit later. And by compromising with the timing, what you get, which is exceptional, is you get a working business immediately, which is far, far, far more important than just making things happen your way in 3, 5, 10 years, which is the amount of time you might waste if you're trying to do everything the brute force way by yourself. So let me tie all of this up with one final take. If you want to understand the demand in the market, you can't guess it, you have to test it. So take one of my strategies, go to the market and just talk to a bunch of people and offer them this specific solution at this specific price point. See if anyone wants it. If people don't want your solution, it's probably a problem with demand. And if you have a problem with demand, the way you solve it is by using a more effective strategy, so you can pick a different strategy, or by reducing your price. No matter what happens, you have 3 different strategies and you have your price as leverage to get the sales pipeline running. I can't really tell you how many clients you should be getting per month, that depends on you, but as a rough guideline, once you enter a sales call with somebody, you should aim to close about 30 to 40% of people. If you're closing much higher than that, that means your prices are probably too low. And if you're closing less than that, it means that your prices are probably too high. I hope that helps you. And if you're interested in this stuff, I have another 60 or so YouTube videos on similar topics that you might enjoy. Cheers.